All right, could you take out a piece of paper? Yeah, take out a piece of paper and make a calendar. Okay, this is a little bit more like church planning class, but I think it's fun to think about being on the mission field and having a calendar, a month of days and making a plan. How many of you are good planners? Yeah, you are. Are you a good planner? You're good planners. You could plan for a month ahead of time. Oh, all the Europeans are there. They have their little books, their little planning books. The Americans are, so we can do it too. We can be like the Europeans and the others. Even we, okay. Planning. How do you plan your day even? Do you pray? There was a Korean pastor who was asked, he has this sounds like incredible number, but check it out and Google it. 1 million people in the church, in one church in Korea. I believe there are 4 churches that have 1 million people in them in Korea. Do you know, Pastor Jomi? Have you heard that? 4 churches that are huge in number. This pastor was asked, what do you do every day? And you know what his answer was? He prays and asks God what to do, and then he does what God tells him. Wow. That's a pretty amazing way of living. I can't say that I have that kind of definition from the Lord every day. But I do, like, sometimes I get real quiet and I wait upon God and I listen, and I'm kind of led in the Word and reading the Word. I try to do it at night. I do it in the morning, and I have some sense that I'm going to read this part of the Bible or that part of the Bible. Then names come to my mind, and I just jot down a name or a project. But I plan, and I think planning is a big part of the ministry. Remember, we're in Havana, Cuba, right? We are church planting in Havana, Cuba. And if we were to take one of these weeks and divide it this way, this is 1 week. We'll only do a couple days here, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There are 3 parts to the day. This is 1 day. 3 parts of the day. What are the parts of the day? Morning, afternoon, evening. Is there somebody here who doesn't understand that? Okay, so we have 3 parts of the day. And as a missionary, I've generally thought that 2 of those I'm active in the ministry. 2 parts of the day. It may be in the morning. I might meet people, I might teach a class, I might do something in the ministry that way. In the afternoon is mine, so to speak. I might rest or be quiet or do my laundry or go shopping or something like this, like happens. That's a part of life for you. And then I may be back out in the ministry, doing something in the ministry in the evening. Or on a Monday, it may be that I have the quiet time in the morning, then I'm out and about in the afternoon and the evening. It is pretty amazing that our church here in Baltimore has so much activity happening every day and every week and every month and every year. It's not normal that churches would have that kind of activity. And in a way, when you are in Havana, Cuba, planning a church, you don't have any activity except what you plan and what you're doing. Ask your neighbor, if we were to have meetings in Havana, Cuba, when we arrive in Havana, Cuba, how many meetings should we have in a week? And we're not going to use dollar bills. Throw that in there. Okay, any answer? What do we have? Six meetings. Norm is one meeting a week. Give VJ a hand. I mean, I think he needs help. No, I'm joking. He needs counseling after this. One meeting a week. That's all what? He needs more coffee. Okay, so anybody else? Yes, Charity?
It's kind of like a broad question.
Yeah, it is.
Are you having it in a house?
Yeah.
Well, the logistics of it.
Yeah, right.
In a house, you gotta think about what their schedule is.
Okay.
Like, do they work all the time? Do you want to do like that?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of concepts.
A lot of questions. Will there be child care? Is it a meeting? Is there electricity involved? Where is where is it? Is it in a home? Is it in a rented hall? How much money do we have? How many times could we rent a hall? All of these very practical, very good questions. I ask you to lead us in our thinking about our course. This is Homiletics. And we are thinking about actually our purpose and what it is that we're doing as communicators, and how often you communicate and in what context. So these are, some of the things. I'm just stimulating us in this. I shared a testimony with you. James said Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday meetings. So like every other day. When we were in Hungary, I remember I felt as our church started to grow and people started to come, I felt that they could meet me in the morning early for a pastry and a coffee. Because actually I like pastries and coffees. So I thought, hey, these two things go together. So I would meet down at Vatsiutsa, the walking street, in the morning at a shop, and two or three guys on the way to work would stop by. I would give a little Bible study. This would be like 7 in the morning, and pretty early before they went to work, and we would have time. So, the point that I want to make is that if you don't have some kind of ministry that is happening during the week, then realize that it really is possible for you to initiate it. I mean, as a team, and talk about what kind of tempo do we want? What kind of activity level? And, the problem in America often with our Greater Grace pastors and churches is that they all have jobs, except 3 of them. 3 Greater Grace pastors in America can go full-time in the ministry. And so their activity level at their church during the week is like it's minimal. And it could be another idea here, if you go back to this one. I remember we were in eastern Ukraine, and I said, let's go there and have 10 days of meetings. Every night we'll have a meeting, and we'll bring people in, and they'll listen to the message, and Christ will save them. And we had an amazing time. I think you can do 30 days of meetings every night. You could do like with the music and the preaching and then like serving and, this type of ministry. We have, in the Bible, we have a couple of communication gifts that we have the pastor teacher, and you're familiar with that. But you also have the gift of evangelist. And this is something that I would say maybe we don't always define so well in our church. But that man has a gift as an evangelist, and he can do 30 days of meetings, and the community will be changed because of his ministry as an evangelist and bringing new people into the church, and the pastor taking them and leading them and pastoring them in the ministry. If on your team you have an evangelist, then that's a great blessing to the team. And then how you organize his ministry so that he's used by God to bring in the new people and to get them established in the faith. One thing we have done are tent meetings. We had these big tents, like this type of a thing, and we filled it up. We had a couple hundred seats. We did it in Finland in the summer, and we did it in Hungary also. And we would just go, and then you can rent. There's a organization in Hungary where you can rent the tent from and go around the country with a van, a vehicle with a tent and all the equipment, and then a couple elephants in order to put it up. Okay, so then, we never got to that point, but that can happen. All right, so there you have it, just a general idea of what we're talking about. So now let's go to our sermon series questions here that I want you to kind of put together. I'll give you where is it? I wonder what paper I wrote it on. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I want you to plan out a series of messages just now in a few minutes, just thinking about it, on a biography in the Bible. A series on Abraham. Let's say four messages on Abraham. Could you take a piece of paper, just write it down, put it on the side. I've got 4 or 5 different subjects here, 4 or 5, and write down the name Abraham, and then could you plan a series of messages on the life of Abraham? All you do, just give a title of a message. The title, The Faith of Abraham. The family of Abraham. Abraham in the Valley of Decision. The covenant with Abraham. These themes, okay? All right, so what happens is you study, you read, you think about it, you meditate on it, you learn about it, and then you make some plan. And you just ask God to breathe on it and anoint it. But you have to, this is a value, the value of being organized is that you know ahead of time and you have your message planned out. And the way you plan your message out depends on how you operate in the ministry. Maybe you realize with Pastor Love has his messages, some of them, written out. And he likes to be very organized and he follows the program. Pastor Shabeli doesn't do it that way, but he meditates on the word and he has it. It's kind of like he can read a verse that really the Holy Spirit gives him and he can shut the Bible and then he can just preach. and you feel that it's like a prophecy or anointed, or you feel that what he's saying is for you. So there are different ways that men have it, and I honestly believe that some men would be better if they were more organized in their message. And some men that are very organized in their message, it might be better that they were more spontaneous or free to speak extemporaneously by faith and give the message. In our ministry, Dr. Stevens did a lot of that just extemporaneously because he was really saturated with the Bible and he knew the Bible so well. And you could just sense that there was a roll, there was a flow of the Word, like 2 Thessalonians 3:2, that the Word of God would have free course. But I want to repeat that. I honestly think that men would benefit if they were more organized, not only like in this way of their life being organized. By the way, let me go back to this point, this little sketch here. Here's a calendar for me. And I devised this for our team when we were in Finland. And I wanted everybody on our team to fill out a weekly calendar that is made just like this, very simple. And then submit it to me and let me know what you're doing 2/3 of your day for the ministry. So they would do visits, hand out tracts, knock on doors, be in a prayer meeting, go to a meeting. And we were very disciplined at this. And it was like important to be disciplined because we didn't have jobs. But our job was to be ministering Christ in planting a church there. And it could change, I mean, I'm not saying you have to be working this way all the time, but you do have to have a plan. And if you have free time, you can plan your free time. And free time is important. There were times when I would take a whole day just as a free day, and I would just be quiet for the day, to be rested, because we were doing 5 Bible studies a week in different parts of the country. One of them, I traveled the equivalent from here to Rockland, Maine, every week. I would take the train there on Wednesday night after service, get there in the morning, be there at the medical school all day, take the night train back, get off the train, and go teach Bible college. It was a 10-hour train ride to Oulu, Finland. It was amazing. We were very effective because the Spirit was moving and drawing people and really working there. So it was a joy to do that. And I have stories about it. One time, I stepped off on the train. It was winter, like this. I stepped off the train without my coat on, just to get some fresh air at 6 in the morning. And I just kind of walked away from the train, and it was dark and cold and snowing and everything, and just getting fresh air. I turn around, the train is going. And I see the back of the train. So I run and I catch the back of the train. And and the door is locked. So I'm riding on the back, the little steps on the back of the train with the locked door, and no one knows that I'm there. And the train is picking up speed, And I'm thinking, I jump off now or I stay on. And I'm thinking, when is it going to stop again? This was in Toijala, I think, Finland. The Finns know where that is. So then I just think, I have no idea if this goes all the way to Helsinki from here. I could be on the back of this train for like 4 hours or something, without it stopping. But maybe it'll stop. So I rode on the back of the train for about 40 minutes. And I'm looking around. You know how the train turns on a curve? And I'm looking to see how long the train is, and I'm thinking, it's rain, it's snowing, and so I stayed on. And then when the train was pulling into the station, I didn't want anybody to see me riding on the back. So I, slowing down, and is slowing down, and then I just jump off, and then I just walk like this. So then I get on the train, and I'm just soaking wet and freezing, and just like I just sit down on my seat, and I just hope nobody's asking me any questions. Where did you come from? Okay. All right. So, planning another series of messages. Write down this. Yeah, I was, but what could I do about it? No, you're right. I mean, I don't know how long the train is going to be. I can't jump off when it's traveling, you know, 50, 60 miles an hour. So I'm there, and maybe I will get sick or freeze or whatever. Yeah. But what could I do? I could, nobody was at the door. It was like an empty car. So. I just had to make sure I wouldn't do anything really stupid, like try to climb up on top and like in the movies. Okay. Write up a series using a topic. And the one I picked was warfare, spiritual warfare. 4 messages on spiritual warfare. I'm just asking you to think about it and just make a plan. I don't know how you're doing right now with what I'm asking because my directions are not that specific, but you just use your imagination and think about spiritual warfare. That's a topic. Where in the Bible could I find some texts on it? What do I want to say about it? How important is it for the people in Havana, Cuba, to hear about it? What does it mean? What would I say? How will the rap session go afterwards? Will the Spirit of God be with me on this theme? And I will teach the church on this subject of warfare. Can you come up with 4 titles? Okay, great. Four titles. Anybody? Armor of God, Ephesians chapter 6. Power of prayer. Prayer and warfare. Another one? What? Who do we fight? Who do we fight? Now, when we may have a message, remember the theme is very simple. Like we say, you can put it on a T-shirt. What do I want to say? When you go to speak, it's not good that you don't know what you want to say. Did you realize that? Say it back to me. It's not good when I don't. Keep it simple. Yeah. Like say, what do I want to say? We say like an airplane is going to take off. It knows where it's going, and then it lands. And the takeoff is a big thing. What do we say about the takeoff? Introduction. You are introducing to the people. What is it that you don't want to say to the people in Havana, Cuba? Stop smoking cigars. No, what is it you don't want to start your message saying, I'm sorry I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. I have studied all night. I've come up with no message. And so I'm going to give it my best shot. What's wrong with that? It's negative. The introduction is to communicate, even It's just to communicate with some kind of confidence that you are there in the place of that God has you there. Whether you believe that or not, say it anyway. Maybe you'll start to believe it. Like communicate. Your negativity does no good except maybe you're asking for sympathy. How about this one? Pastor Schaller just asked me 2 minutes ago. Thanks very much, Pastor, to speak to you. He gave me a whole 2 minutes to be prepared. Thanks a lot. What do you want to do in that case? Last minute, you're asked to share something. What are you going to do? You can blame me. And everybody is saying, "Oh, poor man, you only got 2 minutes to prepare." And that mean person over there put you in this situation. What's wrong with all that communication? Okay, it's negative. It's what? Not edifying. Do people really want to, like, sympathize with you? I mean, like, there'll be some people in the congregation, they'll look over at me. So what has happened in the meeting? It got sidetracked, hijacked, where the concentration isn't about me mistreating somebody, nor the man looking for sympathy and having an excuse if his message isn't any good. And at the end of his lousy message, you're all going to say, Pastor Schaller, you better get your act together. Because otherwise, look at what happens. And you're the cause of it. And you know what? They could be correct, actually. But actually, is that what, you can do that if you want to. It's your call. But I ask you to think about it and to just say, actually, people are coming together, and it's not really about you or about me. But it's about what is God going to do here? Help us follow God. What does Jesus want to say to us? And I'm saying this not that I care because people do that to me anyway. It's not a big deal to me. I'm thinking more about really where it goes and what is it that people are really looking for. And of course, preparation is a great thing, a blessing. So you know what I'm saying. I'm having fun too, But I think you get the idea. Introduction. The takeoff of an airplane is a critical time in the flight of the airplane. If the takeoff isn't right, it might not get off the ground and clear the trees at the end of the runway. So there has to be enough fuel, enough energy, enough power, and the pilot needs to be right there to make it happen. You don't have to live under a lot of pressure regarding that. I'm only just saying that the introduction may be more important than you realize. How do you introduce a sermon? You can use a poem, joke. Norm likes jokes. It could be also a story, a fact, and even like a profound statement that leads your people into being engaged with what you want to say. Warfare. Tonight we're speaking about warfare. Give me your undivided attention. What I'm about to say to you is very important for every single person in this room. Warfare. Have you thought about it? Do you know about it? Let me give you some idea of how important it is. And then you go in your... So there's an introduction where you take, and of course this is experience too, but you take it and you have it, you package it, you're ready, and you're going to go deliver your message. Another thing, the flow of the message, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can go right at it and be done in 7 minutes. The message does not have to be laboriously long, not stuttering, Not stammering, not long pause. It may be, it depends on the Holy Spirit and what He wants to do, but actually sometimes when I hear a message delivered that way, sometimes I just realize that maybe it would be good if they would hear themselves and realize the benefit of being organized and get to the message, deliver the message, and we all say, wow, awesome, thank you, Lord, that was great. We got through that, we heard it, and it was informative, inspirational, useful, and you did it. It doesn't have to be 40 minutes long. It can be done like short. What do you want to say to me? Say it. Please say it. I don't know yet what you want to say. 7 minutes later. I still don't know what it is that you want to say. What do you want to say? Tell me now. Tell me, what are you saying? What is it you're getting at? What do you want to say? Because, this is what communication is about. Right? Okay. Next subject is a series of messages on a doctrine. And we'll pick the one, justification. That doctrine, justification. Now, in the course of a year, you have 52 weeks. Depending on how many meetings you have in a week and how many are coming to them, what do you want to cover in a year? Let's say if you have 2 meetings in a year and most of your people come, you have 100 themes. What are the themes that you want to cover in a year? Go ahead, so just shout one out. Grace. Creation. Ooh. Faith. Purity. Finished work. Redemption, love of God, body life, warfare, prayer, worship, missions, evangelism, the cross. There's a lot of themes. And then how often will you repeat them? And overall, after 100 messages, what is it that you're actually saying to people? What are they picking up from what it is that you're saying? The overall sense is really you want the body to be built up in love and wisdom. You would like people to understand things and mature in the knowledge of God. This is Colossians chapter 1, verses 9 to 11. How about the devil? How often are you going to talk about the devil? For me, and in 1 year's time, 89 messages. I hate the devil. 89 messages. I'm going to deal with the devil. I got 89 messages planned out. I mean, this is a good question. Guys, how balanced am I going to be in leading them in the knowledge and in their understanding in the second year and the third year? Right? So this is another good question. I'm not really giving you the answers. I'm only suggesting that we are thinking about these things in Havana, Cuba. Like these are people that are very precious and that God has added to us, and we want them to come back because of the body, the liberty, and they are being changed. And they are actually excited about learning their Bible. So this is an awesome work of God. All right, another series, and it is the choosing a series on a book in the Bible. And we can use the book Deuteronomy. 4 messages on Deuteronomy. What are the key words? Who wrote it? What's the point of it? Why is it in the Bible? What does the book of Deuteronomy say? Break it down chapter in big pieces. And this is a series. So when people are in your church and they get the series on Deuteronomy, pretty much they know what it is saying, why it is there. And by the way, it's a great book in the Old Testament on love. Deuteronomy is about loving God. And Jesus quoted it quite often. Quoted Deuteronomy, the fifth book of Moses. It's a selective laws that Moses gave to the Jewish people. Another series is not a series, but a message on a current event. When you go to a foreign country like Cuba, maybe you want to know the calendar of the people. When are their national holidays in Cuba? What are they celebrating? What are the events? Can you take an event in their calendar and bring a spiritual message to the people based on that event? Like here in our country, we have Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. It's an important holiday in my mind. I really love that man, and I love what he did, and I love what he represents. And I think it's important. So you can take that holiday and use it and bring a message to the people and advertise it, or let people know and tell them to bring their friends and their family. So we have current event, holiday, planning your message, and that's it. I'm going to give you a short assignment. I want you to write a unique a message, one page on this subject. The ministers, this is a topic, the ministers fainting fits. This is a title from Spurgeon. If you looked it up in Spurgeon's sermons, you'll find a sermon that he wrote on that subject. If you want to read it, you're welcome to. But you write a one-page paper on a minister fainting, a minister quitting, a minister saying, I can't do it anymore. A minister saying, I'm done, I'm finished. Who knows who said that in the Bible? Yeah, Lisa? Yeah, Elijah did, you're right. Somebody else? Jonah, Jeremiah. Who? Did he say that? What? Oh, okay, Peter, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, he said, I'm going fishing. All right, so one-page sermon, just a short outline, like introduction, body, text, illustration, application, and basically what you're saying is that men and women of God do get tired, people do want to quit, but then God's grace in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, seeing we receive this ministry, we faint not. This was a great class. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great evening.